Hi, I'm Josh.
And I'm Sam. Welcome back to bonus content, where we are discussing the Lost 20 in terms of Star Wars video games. My top 20 greatest Star Wars video games ever. Basically, the best top 20 Star Wars video games ever to exist. So, last time we talked about Star Wars Jedi Survivor. This time we're talking about its prequel, Fallen Order. Survivor is where it ends so far, but let's see how it began.
All right, so what can you give us a say brief overview of this game?
You you start out as a worker, a scrap worker on the scrap planet of Braca. Nothing special about you. You're just a regular employee who knows how to do a few acrobatic stuff. But after a brief incident, it's revealed that you can use the Force. You're a Jedi survivor of Order 66. But that activity doesn't go unnoticed. The Empire notices, they send Inquisitors, the second Sister Inquisitor and the ninth Sister Inquisitor, to hunt you down. Then, after they kill one of your co-workers who decides to resist the Empire and say, no, we are not handing you any Jedi. Also, you Empire types only think we're expendable. It's the Empire's fault that we're just expendable workers. The Inquisitor kills the guy for that. It's revealed you activate your lightsaber. Then, after you escape the Inquisitors, you have to escape the rest of the Empire, using your lightsaber to fight through a bunch of stormtroopers. You face the second sister, but can't beat her. In the end, this crew in the ship rescues you from the second sister. One of them is Seer, an ex-Jedi. The pilot is Grease. And and once you get to Bogano, which is a safe planet from the Empire, you find your little droid companion there, BD-1, who used to be a droid that served Seer's old Jedi Master, Eno Cordova. Eno Cordova left a bunch of clues for you on Bogano. And you follow those clues to find this ancient tomb that belonged to a precursor civilization from another galaxy. Then you find out that Eno Cordova has hidden in this ancient temple that belonged to a precursor civilization from another galaxy a Jedi holocron. That holocron contains the list of Force-sensitive children. The Empire cannot be allowed to get their hands on it. So, you go through this long journey of going to Zepho to find more clues about this ancient device, about this ancient temple, about this ancient civilization, and rediscover your Force powers along the way. You go to Kashyyyk to help Saw Gerrera and the Wookiees fight against the Empire, because Saw Gerrera's rebel cell is one of the first rebel cells in the entire galaxy. Then you also go to Dathomir, where you discover a former Jedi who turns out to be a fallen Jedi, and the fact that not all the Night Sisters are dead. After doing all of that, after going through these multiple quests on each planet, you finally go back to Bogano to get the holocron, but Second Sister steals it from you. Then you have to escape the Empire.
Excuse me. So sorry.
Then you have to escape the Empire and then go right to the Fortress Inquisitorius to get the Jedi holocron from the Inquisitor base. So basically the whole thing is based on getting a Jedi holocron with a list of Force-sensitive children. The Empire cannot be allowed to get their hands on it, but why you want it is so you can rebuild the Jedi Order.
That was a very good job at doing an overview without giving any major spoilers. Okay, so to avoid redundancy with our last bonus content, what things in this game were not brought back for Jedi Survivor?
What was not brought back for Survivor? Oof. Well, the planets, for sure. These planets are exclusive to Jedi Fallen Order, and basically none of them appear in Jedi Survivor. Let's see. Well, Survivor does have... Yeah, well, the Scrappers Guild, definitely not in Survivor. You're far away from that in your past after Fallen Order. But Fallen Order is where you begin as a scrapper. Survivor, you're far away from that life. Also, let's see. Well, let's see, there's... Oh, yeah. No, they brought back... let's see. Well, Kashyyyk has Wookiees. We rarely see any Wookiees in Survivor. Yes. Yes. Basically, everything on Dathomir we don't see in Survivor. Oh, yeah. Oh, wait. Yeah, they're in Survivor. And... Well, all I have to say is the Jedi Holocron's not in Survivor. And... yeah. Basically, everything's in Survivor. Everything from Fallen Order is in Survivor.
But what were the biggest changes that Survivor made?
The biggest changes. Well, first off, when you upgrade your abilities, in Fallen Order, you have one singular skill tree which counts for survivor skills, force skills, and lightsaber skills. But in Survivor, that tree is divided into many different trees, which account for force skills, lightsaber skills, survivor skills, lightsaber forms, force abilities. Basically, the skill tree in Jedi Fallen Order is just one tree. In Survivor, it's separated into multiple different trees to account for each force ability. Oh yeah, when you get your flashbacks and rediscover your force abilities, it takes you back to the time where you were training with your Jedi Master, Jaro Tapal. And Jaro Tapal's the one that reminds you of your Jedi skills. But in Survivor, you're training with Seer, and Seer's the one that reminds you of further Jedi skills that you develop. Also for Fallen Order, focuses a lot on the Empire, while Jedi Survivor focuses less on the Empire. Less on the Empire. We also have... yes. There's this one station where you plant any plant from any seed that you gather when exploring a planet. When you explore a planet, you get seeds, and you can plant those seeds to get plants. In Survivor, they took that to another level and created this garden on top of the cantina where you plant stuff. The place where you used to plant seeds on the Mantis is now replaced by just memorabilia. That was Survivor. In Survivor, the place where you plant plants is replaced by memorabilia, and there's this whole plant farm on the top of the cantina. In Fallen Order, there's a place in the Mantis. That place where you have memorabilia in Survivor is the place where you plant plants in Fallen Order. Also Also, some things have been upgraded, some abilities, some skills. Oh, yeah, costumes. Costumes are basically, outfits and ponchos still exist from Survivor, but we don't have the facial hair or appearance changing modes that we have in Survivor. Lightsaber is basically just single, dual bladed, or split saber. In Survivor, we have single bladed, dual bladed, two lightsabers, lightsaber and blaster, and crossguard lightsabers. So we have more options for lightsaber designs in Survivor than Fallen Order. And yeah. Yeah, the story in Fallen Order is different than Survivor, and I think that's it.
So, just out of curiosity, back when Fallen Order came out, what did you think Survivor was going to be like? Back when it was just Fallen Order, you didn't know anything about Survivor. What were your predictions back in those days?
All I predicted was going to be like Fallen Order, but better. Better how? I wasn't sure.
Oh, so you really didn't think too hard about it?
Not really. I wanted to be surprised, actually.
Alright, okay, what else can we talk about? Oh, if you had to integrate Cal Kestis into the Legends continuity, how would you do it?
Ooh. Actually, Cal Kestis would fit well into Legends continuity with a lot of other Jedi survivors from that age. Jax Pavan, Ferris Olin. Jax Pavan, Ferris Olin, and a few other Jedi that survived Order 66. Basically the same age, same rank as Cal Kestis. And they would actually do well in their own Jedi series video game. Cal Kestis would be integrated as, yes, a member of, probably as one of the survivors of Order 66, like all the other Jedi are. But Cal Kestis' popularity he is very popular, so he would be brought back as a teacher for Luke Skywalker's new Jedi Academy in Legends, which was highly successful, unlike canon.
And what are your thoughts on the tie-in novel Jedi Battle Scars?
Battle Scars fills out a bit of detail about what's happening in Survivor versus what happened in Fallen Order. Battle Scars is the sequel to Fallen Order. Basically, in Fallen Order, Grease has 4 arms, but in Survivor, Grease has 3 arms and 1 mechanical arm. How did that happen? Well, turns out in Jedi Battle Scars, Cal Kestis tried to turn an Inquisitor back to the light side, and this Inquisitor was the 5th Brother Inquisitor, who I would highly recommend not turning back to the light side, because 5th Brother's a hardcore Inquisitor to the core. Cal tried to turn him back to the light side, but failed. Grease got involved, and the Inquisitor chopped off one of Grease's arms. Seer, during the time of Jedi Battle Scars, was already working to preserving Jedi knowledge and Jedi work. Seer was also beginning creating the hidden path, which we see in Survivor. She wasn't focused on any of that in Fallen Order. In fact, in Fallen Order, Seer was just focused on surviving and being under the radar.
Here's an interesting one. If you had to make a prequel story, no pun intended, about what Cal Kestis was up to during the Clone Wars, how would you write it?
Well, Cal Kestis would actually be good friends with another Jedi, Caleb Doom, aka Kanan Jarrus. Cal Kestis would also... Yeah, Cal Kestis would also have a few other Jedi in his... Would also have Jax Pavan in his little group of friends. Since at the time of the Clone Wars, Jax, Caleb, and Cal Kestis were all Padawans. Jax gets promoted to Knight much later in the Clone Wars. And basically, these three are... Yeah, so basically these three are commanders of their own clone battalions. Under the leadership of their Jedi Masters. Deepa Balaba being Caleb's master. Jaro Tapal being Cal Kestis' master, and Jax Pavan's Jedi Master being Evan Peel, who died in the Citadel arc. So, basically, Jax is being transferred to another Jedi Master until he dies, and then Jax is eventually promoted to Knight. Basically, Caleb would be, well... Yeah, Caleb would be just the energetic Padawan. Jax Pavan would actually be the friendly type. Cal Kestis, during the Clone Wars, would be the panicky one. We would actually have that scene where Cal Kestis faces droidekas, freezes, and then Jaro Tapals to take them out. Also, yeah, Cal Kestis has basically a few sensory issues with his Force abilities and even Force psychometry. So we might have to explain those.
Since we didn't get to this in the Jedi Survivor episode, what are your fan theories about what the third Cal Kestis game will be like?
Well, here's a big fan theory. I'm predicting that... Here's a big fan theory. I'm predicting that Jedi 3 will have the same storyline as Mystery of the Sith. Basically, Cal teaches Kata to be a Jedi. For a brief part of the game, you play as Cal Kestis until he travels to Dromund Kaas, disappears. Then you play as Kata Akuna, and then she travels to Dromund Kaas to find Cal, only to find Cal has turned to the dark side. Kata fights Cal, defeats Cal, and then Cal returns to the light side. Basically, that's one theory. That Jedi 3 will be like Mystery of the Sith. Another theory is we'll have Inquisitors back in Jedi 3. And yet another theory is that we will see the appearance of Jin Altus and his Jedi exploration group in Jedi 3. Cal Kestis might even meet a few other Jedi survivors. The list is numerous for theories on what could happen in the third installment of the Jedi series.
Well, we've got 10 minutes. Why don't you get through as many of them as you can?
Well, let's see. Oh, yeah. Another theory is Cal Kestis meets this one Jedi who turns out to be a dark Jedi, but basically one of those dark Jedi that have a unique point of view. Another one of those theories is Cal Kestis meets a young Baylan Skoll in the third Jedi installment, and Baylan Skoll becomes the big boss, the big final boss of Jedi 3. And I can't really think of anything else.
Alright then. What Legends characters would you most want to see appear in the third Jedi game?
Well, I've already explained a lot about those, but I guess I could explain it again. First off...
Wait. That's it? Those are the only ones? I would
No,
have thought that you had a much longer list.
I do actually. I'm just starting with the. Well, actually, I do. I'm starting with the basic ones. Jin Altus, Callista Ming, Jin Altus, Callista Ming, uh, Ferris Olin, Jax Pavan, Brachus, Brachus, so, yeah, Van Brachus. Let's see. Well, it's harder to know. Well, it's hard to know what characters will appear in Jedi 3 if we don't know the storyline.
Well, this isn't about what's most likely, this is about what you want.
Well, then, so far I just want those 5.
Okay, so in regards to wanted characters, let's switch from Legends. Give me one original trilogy character that you would want to see in the game, one prequel trilogy character, hell, one sequel trilogy character.
Well, sequel trilogy. Actually, we could. Well, actually, a First Order officer as an Imperial officer would be interesting. So, General Enric Pride. So, General Pride could be could be something for the third installment. For original trilogy, that one. Well,
I mean, I could give you a bunch of options, and you could pick from that.
let me think.
Okay.
Original trilogy. Well, well, it would be interesting to see what Han Solo's up to during that time. Oh yeah, for prequel trilogy, this might actually be an easy one. One of the background characters like Watto or Dexter Jetster, or someone who wasn't affected by the Jedi Purge that we see in the prequel trilogy.
Okay, and how about a Disney U character? You know, Rogue One, Mandalorian, hell, even Clone Wars would count.
Okay, so let's see. For for the Clone Wars character we could see in Jedi 3. Well, that's going to be a hard one. There are a lot of Clone Wars characters. For Rogue,
I thought that would make it easier because you got a bunch of options.
yeah, I guess I do. Let's see. Well, okay, I just don't know for that one. For Mandalorian, okay, I just don't know for Clone Wars. For Mandalorian, Grief Karga. They've been sending a lot of bounty hunters after Cal Kestis, so Grief Karga could be a tie-in for the whole bounty hunter mess. And Grief Karga could actually might be able to help Cal put an end to the bounty hunters hunting him from the Haxian brood. Or Grief Karga could send more bounty hunters to capture Cal, who knows. For Rogue One, let's see. For Rogue One, let's see. Well, we already got the KX security droids. Yes. Yes. Yeah. No, wait. It's Baze and Chirrut. Because Cal Kestis would frequently visit Jeddah and might run into them.
Great choices. Okay, we could keep going for another 5 minutes, but it looks like we're running out of stuff to talk about, doesn't it?
Actually, yes. Yes, it is.
Alright, so how about you just announce the next one and we'll move on.
Alright, the next one for bonus content is Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, The Sith Lords.
That's going to be an interesting discussion. All right. Good night and goodbye.